We are back, and I'm thrilled to have our first guest here with us, Pete Popovich, the director of Golf Proformance Academy at Hilton Head. Pete, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, Daniel. Great to be here. Looking forward to a great show.
Good to see you, old friend. Pete and I have known each other for a lot of years, played a ton of golf together. And Pete, you know, I've gotten tons of tips from you in the past. You're an incredible instructor and an incredible player, and that's a combination. Some guys are great teachers, some guys are great players, but you rarely find both. You certainly have a handle on that. Now, I know that recently you've started some clinics for women, so let's get into kind of what you're doing with those clinics. Tell our viewers how women differ from men in golf in general.
You know, we could sit here for hours and hours and hours and talk about differences of men and women, but as it relates to golf, and I know you've got time restraints on the show, so we'll just narrow it down. But a couple of the simplest differences to note are women have about 20 to 30% less muscle mass than men, so they're often told that they can't hit it as far, but there are ways that we can show them that they can increase that strength very simply, very easily. They don't have to go to the gym 3 days a week, and how they can hit it further. The other thing is anatomically, if you notice, most men, when they hold their arms down straight, from the shoulder to the fingertips is almost a straight line. But when women do the same thing, from the elbow out to the fingertips, women have a tendency for their arms to go out to an angle, and that's referred to as the carrying angle. And what that does is, if you ever heard the term somebody throws like a girl, that's because women sometimes have difficulty in getting their elbow in the proper position. Well, the same thing is true for the golf swing. So if a woman's carrying angle or her elbows point inwards, and as she makes her golf swing, she tries to take the club up to the top. As she does so, her elbow tends to point excessively towards the golf ball, and what that does is it doesn't give her the support at the top of her swing. So if you notice, most women have a problem where their left wrist for a right-handed golfer tends to bow too much because it can't sustain that amount of weight. So what we try to tell them is when they take their swing, in order for that not to happen, is we just try to see the elbow pointed back behind them slightly so that they have the support, they can keep their hands in the right position at the top, and they don't get that bow. So those are just a couple things how men and women differ.
Well, I mean, really good information that I didn't know. So throwing like a girl isn't necessarily bad, even though it still hurts my ego, my fragile ego, when somebody says that to me. Pete, just in general, how do you teach women differently than men? I mean, I know there's different styles, right?
There's a lot of different styles. I mean, you know, that book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, was so popular for a particular reason.
I don't.
But women are generally more visual, and men like to be told more what to do, contrary to popular opinion out there. But women, if you show them how to do something, or if you visually show them how to do something, you do it as an example. And also, women are much more prone to ask for help when they need it. Men, if for all you men and women out there, the husbands, wives, or boyfriends and girlfriends, if you've driven in a car and you've gotten lost, inevitably men will never want to ask for directions. Women will stop and seek out how to get that help and get where they're going much faster. The other thing women are much more better at is rhythm and tempo. They have phenomenal rhythm and tempo, much more so than men. So one of the intelligences used when people learn is musical intelligence, and utilizing that in the instruction helps the women improve at a much faster rate and greater degree.
Interesting.
Very. In fact, as a golf instructor myself, as well as an avid female player, I really agree with everything you just shared with us. That's really knowledgeable information, and is so beneficial for myself to hear. So thank you, Pete, for sharing that with us, as well as our lady viewers. I hope that really gravitates towards them and they can see you to apply that. And a way that will be fun to see you, you're doing some Mimosa golf clinics. Can you share that with me, what that is, and how we'd see you, what we'd sign up?
Yeah, the Mimosa clinics we've had a great response to it. And what we found out in the clinics was, when we had men and women together, was a husband and wife, boyfriend or girlfriend, or just general men and women together, was men would tend to dominate the conversations, and women, being as polite as they are, would always nicely take a back seat. So what we did was we eliminated that variable. In other words, we took the men out, and we have a women's only golf clinic that they obviously get mimosas at. But what it does is it allows women to ask those questions that they normally wouldn't ask because they might feel intimidated by somebody else who appears to have more knowledge in golf, or just because they're polite in general.
That's very understandable. Pete, we got just a little bit of time left. How can the ladies sign up for the Mimosa Clinic?
All they have to do to sign up is to call the number on the screen at the Golf Performance Academy. It's 843-338-6737, or they can email me directly at Pete at Golf Academy Hilton Head. There is one caveat that we ask that everybody does is we have a deadline by Friday at 5 p.m. each week so that we know how many people to set up for, and we can make the accommodations to do so.
Well, buddy, it's great to see you as always. I look forward to getting back out on the links with you, and I can vouch firsthand, nobody knows any more about the golf swing, the golf game, and certainly the ladies' dynamic than you. Good to see you again, pal. We'll be in touch.
Thanks
for joining us.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for this segment. We've got to take a quick break. Stay with us in Golf Center.